Moving on to other wannabe dictators, let's talk about Boris Johnson and his failed Brexit everything. And all the consequences that the people of the United Kingdom are feeling today. One major event that's been happening over the last week, and there were things going on today on the streets of Northern Ireland. This is a big issue and a big, very, very big, serious problem. Since Good Friday and the Easter weekend, we've had unrest and people fighting on the streets of Northern Ireland, including Dublin, in loyalist areas. By loyalist, I mean people loyal to the United Kingdom, people who didn't want to be a part of Ireland proper, they want to be a part of the United Kingdom. This is the Northern Ireland situation, the Northern Ireland experience, what is known today as the Troubles. The Troubles went on, the arbitrary date is 1968 to 1998. The 20th century was basically the century of a lot of unrest for Northern Ireland. I'm sorry if I'm preaching to the converted, if you're from the UK, or if you're someone of my generation who grew up with this, like on the news, all you heard about was IRA all the time. I remember this. But for those who are not boomers or who don't know what's going on in Ireland, wherever you are, to make it like a sweeping generalization about this conflict, for a long time in Ireland, people were divided through their culture and religion about whether they should be part of Ireland proper or the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom has a long history of imperialism, as we all know, and its neighbors were not immune to this. Ireland, as well as some other countries, kind of got swallowed by the UK a long time ago. And the people who live in Northern Ireland are kind of divided through their religion. There's the Protestants and the Catholics. The Protestants are usually the loyalists. They're culturally close to the United Kingdom. And the Catholics want to be part of Catholic Ireland. That was the conflict and the Troubles. The IRA was probably the most famous organization of that era that operated in Northern Ireland, but also in the rest of the United Kingdom. Much feared and very serious about their independence from the United Kingdom. So they were not loyalists. They wanted to be part of Ireland. The IRA is connected to the Sinn Féin party in Northern Ireland, and in 1998, after all these troubles and all these terrorist attacks made by the IRA, many people died in this conflict. It was, like literally, brother against brother. This is people living in the same city who basically share the same culture, apart from like small details. Throwing bombs at each other, fighting with each other, dying for this cause for decades, for generations, entire families, clans. These troubles came to an end with the Good Friday Agreement, where finally, after all these decades, people put down their arms. Northern Ireland remained a part of the United Kingdom, but there were many conditions to that, and many commitments were made to ensure that there was a kind of soft border policy going on between Ireland and Northern Ireland, and all kinds of things were put in place to make sure that the people of Ireland felt comfortable, and that the two factions, the loyalists and those who support independence, that they could kind of, just rebuild Ireland and get along again. And since Good Friday this year, anniversary of the Good Friday Agreement, there's been people back on the streets throwing gas bombs at each other, hijacking vehicles, including a bus. There's like this iconic image of a bus that got hijacked, set on fire. It's pretty bad, and it has not been this bad in Northern Ireland since the Good Friday Agreement. Why is it so bad? What happened? Well, what happened was the incompetence of the current British government, the Conservative Tory government, who failed to negotiate anything in their Brexit deal. and failed their people miserably on every level, on every count. And one of their failures was an inability to understand the consequences in Northern Ireland of Brexit, a hard Brexit, a Brexit that had no deal reached to speak of, a Brexit that didn't give people any kind of reassurance in the United Kingdom. Obviously, Ireland proper is still a part of the European Union because it's not a part of the United Kingdom. But Northern Ireland is still a part of the United Kingdom. So in this extremely volatile, extremely sensitive, this is living history. These are people who remember this, like not just the parents, like these are the people who remember this now. They were there for the Good Friday Agreement. There's a de facto border in Northern Ireland. It's called the Northern Ireland Protocol. But it's a border. And whether you want to say it's a soft border or not a soft border, people can tell, people can see, the people of Northern Ireland, they're not stupid. They can tell that it is a border, and that's not what they asked for, and they're not happy about it. And what's interesting is that there's people in Northern Ireland right now, the ones who seem to be going out on the streets and doing all this stuff, it's unconfirmed, but what we know is that it seems to be groups of sometimes extremely young people, like 12 years old, in loyalist areas. So these are the people who are pro-UK, who wanted to be a part, they want to be a part of the UK, and they want to follow the UK, and they thought that the government of the United Kingdom would take care of them because they're loyalists and would not let the situation happen. But they did let it happen, and now the people are very, very, very upset. In terms of the actual people who are behind it, although it is scattered groups here and there, a lot of them seem to be young people. It is very clear that this is something that used to happen in Northern Ireland as well. This is tradition. We're going back to these traditional terrorist ways. It seems that there's bigger powers that be behind this, what's going on there at the moment. And it's just a very toxic, very, very bad situation. Very, very bad. And when Brexit happened, there was a letter was sent to the United Kingdom Prime Minister officially going back on the Good Friday Agreement by a loyalist faction. So again, these people are pro-UK, but they kind of wanted to make the point that they're done with the Good Friday Agreement, if that's how it's going to be, and if that's how this present government is going to negotiate the Brexit that they caused, that is against the better interests of their own people. It's so tragic. And for a long time, I thought, when not a lot was happening in Northern Ireland, I thought, well, maybe it's just, maybe that thing has been put to rest. These things come in cycles and generations. A lot of people today won't remember it, it seems fresh, but the people who were active in the 90s and the 80s, they're not, they're kind of approaching retirement age, the new generation, at least Gen Z will not be no, but it is Gen Z. Everyone's back on the streets. It's the same thing. It's because these types of histories, they have a long life. And unless you really put things to rest, and unless you make sure that you take care of your people, things like this will fester, and they will come out in the most horrible, horrible kinds of ways. They just underestimated the situation as usual. Although I actually don't think that they underestimated it. I don't think that Boris Johnson thought that it was going to be okay in Ireland. I think he doesn't care. I think he doesn't care about the people of Northern Ireland, and he doesn't care about anyone. He doesn't care about you if you're in the UK. He only cares about himself and whatever insider dealing that he's doing. He's a Tory. He's all he's a Thatcherite Tory. He's all about the business, all about himself. He doesn't care if people get killed. So far, from what I can tell, 70 cops have been injured in the unrest in Northern Ireland. That's a lot of cops, whatever those injuries mean, but that's a lot of unrest. That's a lot of explosives. That's a lot of going back to that memory of the Troubles. is just so irresponsible. It's evil and cruel and irresponsible, and it goes against the memory of the people who died in the Troubles. This is a very serious thing here, and it's a very serious thing for people in Northern Ireland, obviously. My heart goes out to the people of Northern Ireland. There's a special place in my heart for them. This government is just so evil. They really just don't care. They don't care, and they're not going to do anything, and they're not going to help you. They're just going to let this happen because they know that they're not going to be in power forever, and it's not going to be their problem. And we'll have another period of 40, 50, 60, 100 years, I don't know, of people killing each other in Ulster. Incredible.